Welcome to the celebration of the 2020 winter solstice at the Allen Avenue Unitarian Universalist Church in Portland, Maine. Our congregation has for years gathered in our sanctuary, sometimes looking out at our protective and beloved dawn redwood tree, to mark the turning of the seasons from fall to winter, from the darkest of nights to lengthening days, and then from the snow and ice of winter toward the gentle rains and trickling streams of spring. In this COVID year, pandemic prevents our gathering in large number, but it cannot prevent the shifting of the sun and the moon or the growth of hope that the solstice brings, and it cannot stop our growing faith in what tomorrow will be. Our celebration this year is virtual and does not attempt to replicate the lively, heartfelt performances of the past, but instead offers photographic remembrance of those times, mixed with moments of fresh music and thought, and offering 3 periods of quiet time, allowing for viewer meditation. Let us move together through the cycle of past to present to promise. We begin. The days of autumn grow short, and the nights long. The darkening of the time becomes the darkening of the mind and of the heart. Ancients gathered midst the glooming of the years to sing and to dance, and to pray for their gods to turn the process around, to fill the days with brighter, warmer sun to nurture crops, to salve the human heart. And at the solstice, the gods responded with a bountiful yes. So we, looking to the immediate past of spring, summer, and autumn gone by, and conscious of the saving changes to come, we at Allen Avenue have also gathered in spirit at the solstice to celebrate the mystery, the turning of the earth, the movement of the sun and moon and stars with sound and song, with honor to the 4 directions, with poem and dance, with beloved chalice of ice that echoes the form of the traditional Unitarian Universalist symbol, chalice of ice, slowly giving way to the small but vanquishing flame that burns within.
The winter solstice is considered a turning point in the year in many cultures. We at Allen Avenue honor this earth-based religious holiday by invoking the assistance of the directions. The directions include east, south, west, north, and the center, which we represent with an ice chalice and or a Yule log. Each direction is represented by an element. The ritual begins with closing the circle and invoking the directions, and ends with opening the circle by thanking the directions for their guidance. The following is an overview of the symbolism of each of the directions. In the east, the place of air, of beginnings and of intellect, whence comes the first solemn winter sunrise. Each day we await the dawn, knowing the sun will always return. In the east, we hear voices in thought and sounds while we sing of new light. In the south, the place of fire, of passion, of creativity, we dance with the light of the midday sun. We learn the importance of close friendships. In the south, there is passion that burns brightly in our heart. In the west, the place of water, of emotion and intuition, we watch the setting sun of what seems to be an all too brief a day. We experience the power of water that runs in our own blood. In the west, we let compassion teach us we are all part of one another. In the north, the place of earth, to be silent, to be still, where trees no longer bend, but wait, we come together in the dark to touch our truth. We learn the powers of darkness and await the gift of light. In the north, we find wisdom that teaches us of hope in times of darkness. In the center, the powers of directions come together to mix, to meld, and to empower us. In the center, we find our balance between light and dark. Great powers of the center, power of spirit, lead us by the hand once again along these cold winter trails to warmth and safety. Blessed be.
Let us be in silence now, as we join in meditative calm, apart in space, but together in the mystery, mindful of the vibrant autumn fading into darkest night that shall in time give way to dawn. As many and as one, let us know the spirits of love and faith and hope. Let the silence come.
Dark of winter, soft and still, your quiet calm surrounds me.
Let my thoughts go where they will, ease my mind profoundly,
And then my soul will sing a song,
a blessed song of love eternal,
gentle darkness, soft and still, bring your quiet to me.
darkness soothe my weary eyes, that I may see more clearly.
When my heart with sorrow cries, comfort and caress me.
And then my soul may hear a voice,
A still small voice of love eternal, darkness when my fears arise, let your peace flow through me.
We now move through the turning of the shortest day and the longest night in the darkest year that many of us have known for a very long time, a year of global pandemic, a year of pestilent politics, a year of profound personal loss for some, and yet, a year that speaks of potential for change, a year that proves once again that even in the darkest night, a single voice can comfort the aching heart, the tiniest flame can lighten the weight of human gloom. We gaze at the yin-yang symbol that hung from our dawn redwood tree last year. We feel the interplay of opposites, the shifting roles of night and day. Out of darkness comes the first faint glow of heat and light. Out of silences comes the first faint whispered hint of sound. Out of nothing comes the first faint beat of moving time. And out of solstice celebration dares to rise a sense of light and hope and promise for tomorrow.
The winter solstice is when increasing darkness yields to increasing light. Fire is dangerous and the only one of the four elements that will harm you if you touch it. Fire is always in motion, always animated, always transforming. Fire can be extinguished by any of the other elements, but it is also the only element that must have another substance to consume in order to maintain its existence. In spite of the danger, people have harnessed fire to turn inedible food into nutritious meals, to work and play after sunset, and to survive in cold climates. While gathering around a fire is a pleasant experience in modern times, just a few hundred years ago it was critical to survival. Fire is warmth and safety. As they say in the movie Young Frankenstein, fire is our friend. Fire can connect us to ritual and spirit. Eternal flames remind us of notable occasions, and the Olympic flame burns for the duration of the ceremonies. In almost every religion, the act of lighting a candle signifies a call to the senses, an invitation to be fully present. Fire can enchant you, purify you, and empower you. In many cultures, fire represents lust and or love. Elvis captures this metaphor perfectly in his song, Burning Love. It begins with, girl, 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 you're going to set me on fire. My brain is flaming. I don't know which way to go. And ends with, I'm just a hunk of burning love. While there are many metaphors for fire, sometimes fire is just for fun. May you have a joyous solstice.
Let us be in silence now, as we join in meditative calm, apart in space, but together in the mystery, mindful of the darkness that this year and day have brought, darkness that caresses us, embraces us, mixture of comfort and chill, while we await the promised dawn, as many and as one. Let us know the spirits of love and faith and hope. Let the silence come.
Without the dark of night, the light of day brings no sense of joy. Without death, life has no meaning. Without despair, promise has no purpose. But promise fills us now, for we are moving through the dark and drear, coping with the burden of past loss. And through the solstice night, we know the promise of the morrow's dawn. Ah, the mystery! The play of sun on ice and snow has beauty of its own, and will in good time melt the winter's weight from our dawn redwood tree and from our hearts. And through all the turning of all the days, we will hold the faith that the peepers will once again offer gift of their song, and that the tiny firefly will help the stars and moon to light the warming sky.
When I head out for a walk, it's still dark. In the pre-dawn cold of the winter morning, the world is still and silent. My footsteps are muffled by a light coating of new snow, and my breath puffs out in front of me. Slowly, the darkness becomes less intense. It's not yet light, but I can see the trees and bushes more clearly. A squirrel runs across my path and pauses briefly to look at me, black eyes glinting. And then I see it, the first glimpse of sun on the horizon. Partly hidden behind thin clouds, it is not at full force, but looks like burnished gold, somehow softer and friendlier than full midday sunlight. As the sun inches up, the clouds glow, luminous and golden across the sky. The bare limbs of trees look like etchings or stained glass against the glow, and although it's still cold, I begin to feel warm. It's as if my heart captures some of that golden heat, and I feel lit from within. Finally, the sun breaks through the clouds, and the world is transformed. No longer dark and gray, it's alive with color, the sunlight sparking rainbows off the ice and snow. Individual twigs and branches sparkle, trees and bushes becoming beings of crystalline beauty. The sky turns a brilliant, deep, crisp blue, and I tilt my head back to take in the vast expanse above me. When I look back down, the ground beneath me is also made anew, the soft snow providing a pure white carpet. The dazzling whiteness covers everything, and I feel as if I, too, have been reborn, now as light and bright as the snow. For a moment, just a moment, I have the sense of the earth turning beneath me, of the whole complicated machinery of nature and the seasons and cycles around me. I'm reminded of what Rachel Carson wrote in The Sense of Wonder. Quote, "There is symbolic as well as actual beauty in the migration of the birds, the ebb and flow of the tides, the folded bud ready for the spring. There is something infinitely healing in the repeated refrains of nature, the assurance that dawn comes after night and spring after winter." End quote. Knowing that spring will indeed come after this winter, with flower buds and birdsong and longer daylight, I feel reassured. I know I can count on this promise. But for now, I simply embrace and admire the beauty of the winter morning.
Let us be in silence now, as we join in meditative calm, apart in space, but together in the mystery, mindful that the dissipating dark has shown us beauty of its own, beauty giving way to sparkling snow and ice, which will slowly trickle into streams of spring. As many and as one, let us know the spirits of love and faith and hope. Let the silence come.
To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time for every purpose under heaven. A time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, a time to reap, a time to kill, a time to heal, a time to laugh, a time to weep. To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time for every purpose under heaven. A time of war, a time of peace, a time of love, a time of hate. A time you may embrace, a time to refrain from embracing. To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time for every purpose under heaven. A time to gain, a time to lose, a time to rend, a time to sow, a time to love, a time to hate, a time of peace. I swear it's not too late. To everything turn, turn, turn. There is a season, turn, turn, turn. And a time for every purpose under heaven. And a time for every purpose under heaven.
Yes, the peepers will once again offer a gift of their song, and yes, the tiny firefly will assist the stars and moon to light the summer sky, just as the summer solstice reverses the process once more. To everything there is a season, a time for every purpose under heaven, a time for cold, a time for warmth, a time to be apart and a time to gather together. Let hope fill us now, the hope of happiness and hugs, the hope of gathering together in person again, with smiling face and smiling soul, the hope of celebrating next year's winter solstice at the Allen Avenue Unitarian Universalist Church. May you be there with us in the mystery, just as you are with us now. Blessed be.